We have the latest update on the migrant crisis in Britain, as illegal migrants have now become a priority for luxury apartments over British people. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the channel that challenges the mainstream media and the political establishment, from the left-wing nutters to the globalist elite. Today we are going to be talking about net zero, and we're going to be talking about illegal migration and the whole of the crisis that's still going on. Every half an hour we're going to have updates for you guys, but in the first video we're going to be talking about migrant housing, which is a big issue. We've been talking about the burden on public services, and of course in terms of housing that's been a massive issue. We've just discovered something slightly disturbing, let's just say. There are a number of luxury new build flats and apartments and houses across the country, especially in Essex, and somehow our government have decided to give those spaces to migrants, illegal migrants, those who have been coming through the English Channel. And there are a lot of British people who are waiting to apply to get those places. So we're not even just talking about homeless people on that waiting list. We're also talking about young professionals who are trying to find a house or a new built apartment. They can't, because the priority should be the so-called asylum seekers. It's completely fascinating what's going on, because the local people in Essex have opposed the scheme and saying that it was grossly unfair to house asylum seekers in plush apartments, while hundreds of families were stuck in temporary and substandard accommodation. The multi-million pound conversion of a former office block has been billed as one of Chelmsford's most sought after residential complexes. So this issue is primarily in Essex, but again, it doesn't just apply to Essex. This issue is going across the country. We also have a report from GB News on this issue. Let's go to GB News.
One of Chelmsford's most sought-after residential complexes. A multi-million pound conversion of an old office block into luxury apartments. The marketing photographs show just how comfortable these flats are. But for now at least, none of the 98 units here are for local use, turned over instead to the Home Office to house asylum seekers.
The problem we have is that the government offer very, very good packages and deals to developers, and we've had the same issue with hotels and everything else. So a lot of people say, okay, I can make more money by making a contract with the government rather than individual people, or just generally speaking, local councils who want to house people and on the waiting list. This is a big issue, and considering that the government have been celebrating a victory, saying, oh, we are working on tackling the migrant crisis. Everything's on track. We're sorting it out. It doesn't really help that these sort of stories come out. Now, apart from GB News, the rest of the corporate media have been pretty silent on this issue. And this is also the secondary issue that we are having in our country, because the narrative is controlled by the mainstream, and the establishment don't want us to know what's going on. That's why there's also a massive fight against GB News. They don't want GB News to exist, to even talk about these things on TV. Now, we've got one of the campaigners, the local campaigners, Dave Aldershaw, who said that more than 400 families in Chelmsford were currently in temporary accommodation and often in very poor quality properties, while people who broke the law were being awarded with luxury apartments. He said the word illegal needs to be remembered. They are illegally here, and yet they are living in absolute luxury. I think that's what's frustrating and annoying so many people, that they are getting everything, and local people are living in some of these places that we see. Last year, during the damp and mold, you wouldn't have put a dog in it because it was disgusting. It was on another level. Now, we also have different cases, ordinary families and their mothers and fathers who are going around trying to find housing and they can't. This is Tasha. Tasha said, I don't think it's fair that they can come over illegally and get placed into apartments. We were just crying out for help to be placed somewhere where my family would be able to live safely. You've got local people on lists waiting for months, even years, for a decent level of accommodation, yet they can't. So You got a problem with people on the waiting list, British people. You got a problem with young professionals who want to rent. You also probably have a problem with people in their 30s and 40s who want to start buying houses for their families, and they can't. We don't have enough houses. There's no space anymore in terms of the existing building infrastructure in the country. And anything else that we're building every now and then, apparently we're now giving to illegal migrants. So yeah, everything's going too well for our society. We're going to keep an eye on this story as usual. We're going to have more updates for you guys every half an hour. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.